Hey there, YouTube blade fans. This old sword back at you with a little bit of a different EDC company. I'm sure you've heard of them. QSP. They make a number of different knives, like I believe the Phoenix, and I don't have the rest of the names off the top of my head, but this one is called the Gavial, or Gavial, I believe is the correct pronunciation. Gavial, in case you didn't know it, is a long-snouted crocodile sort of creature. It's mainly a fish eater. I'm told it's of no harm to humans. This one might be, though, if it's in the wrong hands. Never know. Anyway, these are out there for about 50 bucks. QSP is a upcoming company making some very nice products. This is running on bearings. It is switchable pocket clip, left and right, deep carry. This particular one is two-tone, so you have black on the flats and a nice satin finish on the blade. It is a D2. Very little branding on the blade other than company name, QSP, with a little fire forge kind of thing going on there. Got some interesting pivots with these slotted surrounds on both sides. It is a good size knife, and as I say, runs on bearings and pretty smooth action. Let me see if I can back out just a little bit. So there you go. We've got a two-way method of opening. Got your flipper tab. Got a fairly strong detent. I'd say it's good for this kind of a knife. We also have a thumb hole. And I'm not going to attempt to spidey flick this because I did it off camera unsuccessfully. So I will not prove that it can be done or it can't be done. If you pick one up, you may find that you can. We have recessed screws, not entirely, but they're dome head. These stand up a little bit on the blank for the pocket clip on the left side. Don't really get in the way too much. It'd be nice if they were flat, but I haven't had any problems pocketing this. Got a nice lanyard hole. And we've got a small amount of jimping that's not particularly aggressive on the top. We have an overall length. It's a big one of 9 inches. We have a blade length of just over 4 inches, about 4 1/8 by my measure. Got a cutting edge of 4 inches. So yeah, big knife. And yet it's pretty light in the hand. We'll get a weight on it in a moment. We have a blade stock of 3.5 millimeters. We have a handle width of 0.59 inches, so almost 0.6. It is nicely contoured, however. See if I can show that. We've got a cutout here for your index finger. Same thing on the other side. And I like this when they do this little bit of a recessed on the handle so that that liner is accessible. We have a jimped liner, fairly smooth jimping. Closes very easily, though. I mean, you can access that liner very, very nicely. As I say, deep carry, sort of. I mean, you're left with about a 1/2 inch. Push it down deep enough in your pocket and that won't be a problem. We got some nice milling down around that side. We have a nice contour to the handle. I happen to like it when they do that, basically a swell in the middle of the handle rather than finger grooves or even flat. This gives you a usable index finger area and just feels comfortable in the hand. We have weight relieving, some significant weight relieving. See if I can get a light in there. Handy dandy Rovivon flashlight. Check out my review on Rovivon if you haven't seen it. Yeah, so we've got long slots on both sides, which contributes to what I believe is going to be pretty lightweight. Well, let's see. Well, felt lighter than it was, but it's still under 5 ounces, so we got 4.86 ounces. Not too bad. Feels more like a 4-ounce knife. Just balances well, maybe that's it. Balances right about in the choil area, or the finger indent area, whatever you want to call that. Just behind the guard. Now there's your D2 marking. I've carried this lightly. One thing I did do was it had a very bright, shiny, chromy looking pocket clip, and I took out the 3M 320 grit and just rubbed it by hand. It's pretty easy to do if you don't like your bright clips. Get one of those 3M scouring pads from the market or the hardware store. And I didn't even really need to take this off to do it. I just slipped something underneath it to protect the handle, piece of cardboard, and then you just lightly rub back and forth, or really best to rub in one direction like that and get it into the curve and so forth. Anyway, I got a nice satin finish on that instead of the bright shiny finish. So stacking it up against some of the usuals. Here we have it against the Freak, pivot to pivot. And the Freak is shorter for sure, especially in the blade and a little bit in the handle. Up against the Rat 1. Let's zoom in just a little bit here. We've got, yeah, it's a little longer than the Rat 1. I mean, with that 4 1/8 blade, that is significant. And blade is about 3/4 of an inch longer. Handles are pretty much the same. You get a lot of handle with the Rat 1 and even the little Rat 2. And up against the Reptilian from Benchmade. Significantly larger than the grip. About an inch longer blade, it would seem. And maybe about a 1/4 inch longer handle. Let's see. Yeah, a little longer than that on the handle, but can't see it from your angle. But it's about a 1/2 inch longer on the handle. So QSP, check them out. I've liked the ones that I've had one or two. This is the one that I do carry every now and then. And came pretty sharp out of the box. Some people have complained on this one. I saw a review on White Mountain Knives where this came from, that one of the guys that bought one thought it wasn't very sharp out of the box. This is pretty sharp. Let's see if I can find a piece of paper real quick. Was that a long wait? I'm going to edit that out. So, I'll put this on the KME one of these days. I would say it's a serviceable edge. Nothing to write home about, as they say. Okay, so that is the Gavial by QSP. Hope you liked the review. Quick one, I hope. And we will be back with some more interesting stuff. Just got a mail call today, and I'm setting that up for my next vid. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks, guys and girls.